Offensive Player of the Year. So this may not surprise you, but you've got two guys you really like at the top. Jefferson's plus 175 AP Offensive Player of the Year. Tyreek Hill is your second betting favorite at plus 225. It's almost impossible to discuss or argue or parse who's had more of an impact on their team, but I'll let you take a stab.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that either. The only thing I could say to you is that when you break down Jefferson, they do a wonderful job of creating a situation where it's very challenging to double him. You know, he's at 69.8% of the times that he gets the football, that the ball's thrown, he catches it. So anytime a receiver, last year Devontae Adams, when he played for the Green Bay Packers, was at 72% of the targets they turned into catches. My man Tyreek Hill now, you know, Jefferson's just a shade under that, right? So Jefferson's just a shade on that. Tyreek Hill is at 76.4%. 76.4. And if I'm voting Tyreek Hill because I think everything comes on. He's got 81. Now, I know he has 4 touchdowns, but they allow Waddle to do more things. I mean, Waddle's at 68% catch target percentage, which is significant, right? You know, I mean, the tight end Gesicki is only at 68, and usually tight ends are in the 80s. So the ball's going in the middle of the field, the ball's going to those two guys, and because of Hill's ability to catch the ball in traffic and make some ridiculous catches, like Jefferson's catch, you know, I thought Jones was going to intercept it, and he caught it down on the 1 yard line. He got called back for one of the few holding calls they called, you know, in the game. Was remarkable. So, look, I just think, to me, they're both tremendous. I think both of them have given their teams their wins. They're the most valuable players of their teams because if you take Tyreek Hill off that team, we saw Tua last year. It's not the same. I don't think – and Cousins was actually better last year than he is this year, but Jefferson makes all the difference in the world.
Jefferson's, you know, obviously being compared to Moss because of the numbers, but he's got a little Chris Carter in him because he's strong. He's got that little extra where he's got a dog in him. When he goes up for the ball, he's going to win it. You know, for a slight guy, he's got a little dog in him.
I don't see the Moss comparison. He's different than anybody. Tyreek, like Belichick will never play Tyreek Hill in and out coverage. And why do you play that coverage? Because it was 3rd and 8, and you felt like he was going to run some kind of inside route. And he converted it to a 9 route. And so all of a sudden he's more wide open. Whereas you would never do that with Tyreek Hill. When he plays Tyreek Hill, a man's always over top of Tyreek Hill no matter what happens. You got to slow him down. Tyreek Hill is a tilt-the-field player. So is Jefferson, but it's a different tilt-the-field. It's rare quickness and rare speed. Like, it's rare. And it hasn't slowed up. You know, and for 106 targets to produce 81 catches is flat-out rare. An average 14 yards a catch at 76.4 catch radius, I mean, I don't know what to say. You know, I don't know what to say.
Well, may I say this? You've heard some say, and this is social media, so be clear. You've heard people say, discredit Tyreek Hill because of what Mahomes has done with that Kansas City offense and those receivers. Mahomes is one of the all-time special players of all time. What Mahomes is doing with this offense this year is otherworldly. That has nothing to do with detracting from Tyreek Hill's impact on Kansas City's offense or Miami's.
I would make the argument that Kelce should be in this MVP conversation, or the most offensive weapon player. Because, I mean, like what we saw him, look what the Raiders did against him. The Raiders eliminated him from the game until he got to the red area. He got 4 touchdowns. I mean, last week he gets 3 touchdowns. I mean, like Kansas City, where would Kansas City be if Kelce's not on the field? I mean, I don't know how they function, right? I mean, like he's a guy that should be in this conversation. I mean, he's been as probably, you know, he's picked up the slack. He's improved his game. Andy does a wonderful job of moving him around and making sure he catches the football. And, you know, and I mean, look, he's got 90. How about this? He's got 94 targets and he's got 69 catches at 85.5 at 73.4% catch. Hill's still ahead of him. He's still ahead of him in terms of catch radius. Now, he averages 12-4, but he's got 4 touchdowns, 11 touchdowns. I don't know what they would do without his 69 catches. I mean, he controls everything. The next closest guy is Juju Smith-Schuster at 46.
And there's such a synergy with Mahomes and Kelce in the red zone that's the difference. Like once they get into the red zone, Mahomes feels so comfortable with Kelce.
And why are they so good in the red zone? Because he separates the defense. His movement by moving from behind the center, right, just a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left, that moves the defense ever so slightly. Or then when he sprints to the right, now you've got to run, and all of a sudden it's backyard football. People are open. Throw it. Boom. It's not designed. Whereas New England, their design, if it's not on the design, they're not making a play because Mac's not going to run the ball. There's not movement there.
Here are the numbers. Offensive Player of the Year. Jefferson's your favorite at plus 175. Hill plus 225. Jalen Hurts 6-1. Patrick Mahomes 10-1. Henry 14-1. Kelce 14-1. Those are your numbers.
I mean, and all I'll say to your numbers is Nolan Ryan didn't win Cy Young.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds. Listen for free. Find showtimes and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.